Join me every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for my weekly show, The Home Team, right here on the TAN Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live, The Home Team with Paul Porter, talking Lightning, Bucks, Rays, USF, and a whole lot more. Your calls and prize giveaways. Join us this Saturday and every Saturday morning for The Home Team, 9 to 11 on the TAN Talk Radio Network.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
When the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady. I don't know why we ever think it won't.
It's time for the Home Team on the TAN Talk Radio Network. The Home Team is brought to you in part by Iceman Development, LLC, a pioneer in ice rink development. By the Palm Pavilion, 10 Bay Esplanade on Clearwater Beach. By the Original Mattress Factory, with 3 Tampa Bay locations. And now, here he is, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Orlando Magic, and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
Well, thank you very much, Brother Pat Porter, and welcome to the Home Team. Glad to have you with us on this Saturday morning. It's the first Saturday in April, and we have got a lot to talk about today, and I want to thank everyone who has already signed in on Facebook Live. A number of people are. I see David Alexander watching from Niagara Falls, Ontario, is already joining us this morning. And I had the opportunity to be on his show this past Saturday, or that past Thursday, 4680Q, and glad to do that. And he'll be coming up. He's going to be our Toronto connection. We have people on from various cities and that, and he is actually going to be our Maple Leaf and Blue Jays correspondent and talk to us about that. Looks like the Lightning could be playing the Maple Leafs. They could be playing the Florida Panthers or another team. We'll get into all of that. But before we go any further, I want to say hello to, this is the first time ever in the history of the program that I can remember, at least, that we have had 2 frequent callers in the studio as co-host. And we've done that today. Marshall has been here a number of times. And Marshall, we thank you for being here again, filling in for Jason. And Don from, do you like Don or Donald?
We go by Donald. That's
okay,
fine.
Donald from, because that's how I distinguish it, because we have Don in St. Petersburg and Donald in Lutz. And Donald from Lutz is with us today, our fishing expert. And we're actually going to hear from Jesse Wright from Betts Fishing Center. He's going to be calling in this morning, or we'll call him actually. And we'll look forward to talking to him. So you and he, Donald, can kind of chew the fat a little bit about fishing. And
absolutely.
He's been a big part now of the Home Team, and we're glad to have him on board. Jason will be calling in today from, I believe he's at Disney this week, if not, or Universal Studios, but he'll be calling in. And we've got a number of things to talk about today. The women's Final Four going on at the Amalie Arena. And they've done a great job, I think, the whole city, the whole Tampa Bay area, in welcoming the women's Final Four, and teams, 4 different teams coming in from 4 different locales. And I think Tampa Bay has got to show off a little bit.
Yeah, they have. And I was there the last time it was here, and I didn't make it last night. But the thing, with all my experience of refereeing women's basketball, I really love the game. But the thing that's always interesting about women's basketball is there's way more differentiation in the good teams as they are with everybody else. It's just not the same level. The athletes look different. They're different players. There's only so many of them. Whereas in other sports on the men's side, you can get better teams and you can get surprise teams, and, anybody can beat anybody. It just doesn't happen that way in women's basketball. There's such a difference in the top players versus the next level down in the women's game. And you saw it last night. Both games are blowouts. Mm-hmm. So now you have 2 of the top teams ever in UConn and South Carolina, and they keep recruiting those same type of athletes, and that's what happens on the women's side. It's not that it doesn't make it exciting, but you will always have dynasties. I think you had Tennessee, therefore with Pat Summitt, and you will always have dynasties with that level of play of basketball. But one of the things I wanted to say about radio real quick after the introduction was that I didn't recognize Donald when I walked in, but as soon as I heard him talk, I knew. So it's like the voices is what gives it away when you're familiar with people at radio. And the other thing I wanted to say is, when is Pat Porter coming down here to do a show?
That's a good question.
Would like to know, because I'd like to meet him. I'd like to see him. And I think it would be awesome to have him on.
He may be listening right now, for all I know. He listens to the program quite a bit. Things, as you know, and this is not a political show, so we won't get into it, but suffice it to say, things between the United States and Canada have gotten a little bit affected with the current administration, and it's getting a little tougher to get through the border in both directions, and that's unfortunate. But we are going to try and get him down here and have him sit in on a program. He's done it before, but it's been a long time since he did do that. Another thing I want to get to, Donald, you mentioned that the Rays, both of their runs last night in a game that wasn't shown locally, you had to have the Apple Plus to be able to get it, or whatever they call it, Core of the Apple or whatever. But you had to have Apple to see the game. But both of their runs scored on wild pitches.
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I don't recall ever seeing a game where, both runs, the only runs were scored on wild pitches, and they were consecutive wild pitches. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, so the Rangers had all the RBIs last night, both hitting and throwing. So we wanted to say hello to John in Clearwater. John, good to have you on board with us. And I know did you get out to the Sun and Fun Fly-In, Donald?
We're going tomorrow.
Okay. Last day, I think, is tomorrow.
There's going to be the Blue Angels, I believe, are going to be there, or they're going to have a lot of really good aerial shows. And my wife used to fly Cessnas. So out of Odessa Executive Airport, she had her pilot's license. And so she's excited to see the planes again. So we're looking forward to that.
Want to say hello to Carl as well, watching on Facebook Live. Good to have him with us. And the Rays and the Restless, as I call it.
No, remember, I changed it. The Rays, these are the Rays of our lives.
Rays of our lives, okay. All right, so you can put anyone in there. Nothing real new this week other than the city of St. Petersburg voted to spend the $20-some million, their portion, to repair Tropicana Field. So it does appear that that will be the Rays' home for 2026 through 2028 anyway. Beyond that, who knows what will happen.
I heard a press clipping this week that one of the city council people said, the only thing we did wrong in this is we underestimated the arrogance and greed of Stu Sternberg. Mm-hmm. That was the only thing they said that they did wrong for what they put up, the $740+ million, everything that they put out there to get this thing done. And that was the one comment, was the things that they underestimated was his greed and his unwillingness to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's accurate.
Yep.
I think that's very accurate. So the question is, what happens after 2028? Will they be at Tropicana Field? Will there be in somewhere else? I think the long shot is them actually getting a stadium deal in Tampa. I don't really see that happening. Donald, what do you think about all of this?
In my opinion, I think they're wasting all that money. I understand that Orlando, have the Orlando Dreamers, and they already have the land set up. And so, I'm not sure if that's such a, good cost of money to spend all that money to fix the stadium when they're going to tear it down and build a new one. Why don't they just do that now, and see if the Rays can play another season here? Because so far it's working out. At Steinbrenner Field, and they've been great hosts. It's just a great area. They got tons of parking because they could park all around. They've got Ray J Stadium to park. So I don't know. That's just my opinion.
One thing I'm surprised at is, and it just hit me when I was thinking about this week, is, he wanted to go Montreal, St. Pete. Why didn't you go Tampa, St. Pete? I'm serious. Why didn't you split?
Yeah.
I mean, he wanted to create more interest in marketing and everything else. I mean, that would have made a lot more sense of an announcement than going to Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
And if he'd have done that back then, they might have a place to play right now.
Well, he couldn't get the stadium done,
Yep.
or that people didn't want to do it with him. So we'll see what happens. Hello, Patty, watching on Facebook Live, and Kevin and Matt as well. Matt Keller, our good friend from the Orlando Magic. And let's bring Jason in if we can, Matt. We say hello to Barbara as well. We got a lot of people watching on Facebook Live. Jason, well, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Are you calling from Disney or Universal?
No, we're at Universal
Okay.
Studios.
I never
Good
can
time.
keep track of exactly where
Yep.
you're at, but
They should actually be sponsors, Paul, because he's over there so much and he's plugging them all the time.
that's true. That's true. Very true. But we've got some news that we wanted to give, and we didn't want to do that until Jason was on board, because he is certainly part of the family, and I know that he's not a frequent Facebook viewer, and he may not be aware of this. But Jason, yesterday the Orlando Magic announced that this would be my final season with the Magic, and unfortunately, the way that it came off in the press release made it sound like I was retiring from the Magic, and that is not the case. It was said in the press release that all the trips up and down I-4, and now it is time to pass the torch in Orlando. And to me, that comes across as though I'm retiring, and many people thought that I was. And I've talked to some people with the Orlando Sentinel and posted on Facebook, and it's been mentioned on Twitter that I am not retiring from the Magic. It was a team decision. They are going in, as many people have heard at least one time in their life, we're going in a different direction. And that is what the Magic is doing. So this will be my final year with the Orlando Magic. But again, I want people to know that I am not retiring. I will still be doing the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Marshall, you won't have to text me anymore about who's this guy filling in for you tonight when I'm doing a Magic game. The conflicts will be gone. And I'm still going to do my work with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. So everything I do, Buccaneers, Lightning, home team, all here in the Tampa Bay area. And I didn't want to announce it on the air, Jason, until you were with us, because you're part of the family, and I wanted to share it with you, and I share it publicly on the air.
Well, you know what? It's been a remarkable run over there. I know it'll probably be easy on you not having to drive that way up and down, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's that's the Magic's loss. The voice, it's not going to sound the same over there. So, but anyway, I know there's a lot of great memories from that, and hey, still doing the Lightning, still doing everything else, including the home team.
Absolutely.
But that's but a lot of special times there.
Well, they are going to quote honor me, unquote, on Tuesday night or Wednesday night, actually, of next week, the final home game of the regular season, and look forward to that. I know that a lot of people are upset. A lot of people are, and that's an understatement. There's language that's been used on Twitter that I cannot repeat and will not repeat, but people are very upset, and it's not going to be an easy transition. They're used to hearing one thing, and I'm not at liberty to disclose what the Magic have in mind, but they are going in a different direction in a new chapter. So,
well, I think the interesting thing about this is, if you really think about it, nobody really retires from these jobs, Paul. Look at these announcers. It's a great gig. Everybody loves it. The guy for the Tigers was 90. Vin Scully was, probably about the same. Euchre. I mean, you look at these guys. They don't give these jobs up. It's their life. They love it. It's more fun than anything else they're going to do. So when somebody says, "Oh, he's retired," no, I'm sorry. It's just not a viable. I don't think it's once in a very short. It just doesn't happen very often, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you're right. It is a great job, and people hang on to it, and fans get used to hearing a particular voice, whether it be a PA voice, a radio, or a television voice. They get used to hearing it, and they're comfortable with that. I mean, I hate to think of the day that the home team goes away at some point. Maybe Jason will just inherit it. That wouldn't be a bad way to go. But it's become, you get so used to things.
Right.
Like when you go into an arena or a stadium or turn on the radio or watch on Facebook Live. Courtney is watching today from Texas. Glad to have her with us. We have people over on the East Coast of Florida, and just a lot of people are tuned in on Facebook Live.
And I know you can't say this, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to call it the magic. How about you work on your product on the floor? How about you work on your people in your front office to get a better product and put it out there? Maybe you'll draw better, make more money if you do that. Let's figure that out first and not worry about some other things.
If you really think about it, how many professional sports teams are out there with all the announcers? What is it? Well, 1 out of every 10 million get to be a professional announcer.
Yeah.
And with Paul, you doing 3 teams, out of the major markets. I mean, for that right there is, it's just incredible all the years that you have done this. So, you put that into perspective, you're like 1 out of 50 million. Or whatever, the odds are of being able to do this and, and hearing you at the games. So.
Well, I've been very, very fortunate and very blessed. And most of you know I'm a very strong Christian, and I give God all the glory for it. He gave me the voice to do this, and he's allowed me to do this as long as he has. And that's where I deflect all of the accolades and praise to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So anyway, just to move on from that, Jason, we've got the men's and women's Final Four going. 4 number 1 seeds in the men's Final Four still alive. And just to recap with our contest here, Liz, who I think you know very well, Donald.
Yes.
She has the Florida Gators, and Big Ed has Duke, and Fred from Tampa has Auburn. So those are the 3 still alive. The house has Houston. No one picked the number for Houston the week whether we were doing the Midwest. So that's how the contest is going. Jason, 4 number 1 seeds, but some pretty good basketball coming up tonight and tomorrow, and Monday.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's only the second time in the history of the tournament that you've had 4 number 1 seeds. I believe the other one occurred in 2008. Kansas ended up beating Memphis in the final that year. This year, even both teams, they literally could go either way. I mean, this is very evenly matched. I still think that based upon how they finished the regular season and on into the tournament, I think Florida is still the best team. I think that they have no weaknesses. I think I know they struggled a little bit against UConn and against Texas Tech, but the key is they found ways to pull those games out. And just about every team has struggled a little bit at one point in the tournament, but hard to predict who's going to win this game. I guess if I had to say, maybe I'll put Florida versus Houston in the final, and the Gators coming out on top. But it's going to be exciting.
Well, many people have said the Gators are the best team still in there. I'm kind of looking for a Florida-Houston final. I think Houston will beat Duke, and I think the Gators will win today over Auburn, and I think that's what we're going to see. But we'll see how that progresses. And we were talking earlier, Jason, before you called, that the Tampa Bay region, and in particular the city of Tampa, I think has done a tremendous job with their hosting of the women's Final Four. And the city has just looked great. There are a lot of clips going on ESPN and showing different sites in the city. Yeah. They showed Steinbrenner Field, and they had the 4 mascots sitting in the dugout. And they've been showing the Riverwalk and Curtis Hickson and the downtown skyline. Congratulations to the city of Tampa, the Tampa Sports Authority, and everyone at Amalie Arena for really making Tampa shine during these women's Final Four.
So without question, and watching on TV, it looked great. The Amalie Arena was packed, and it was a great show. I mean, it creates a lot of excitement, and kudos to the forget who it is Ken Hagan, who's in charge of bringing those events down here.
The Tampa Sports Authority actually is the big Rob Higgins.
Rob Higgins, rather, yeah. But hats off to him, because this is great to have it. I think it's been here several times now, and it's a big deal. It's a big deal. I mean, one of the biggest events in sports. It brings in a lot of fans, a lot of people who may not have been to the Tampa Bay area before, and this is the kind of thing we will want to keep doing in the future. It's great for the area, great for the city.
Yeah, absolutely. The Pirate Water Taxi, one of our sponsors of the program, is being shown out, and they're doing a lot with the tournament. So it's really neat to see Tampa come together. And again, a huge tip of the cap to the Tampa Sports Commission and Rob Higgins in particular. And many of you may not know, but Rob has been battling cancer, and he is doing okay. But to pull all of this off and still be doing battling cancer, I think is just so admirable as far as Rob, and he's a good friend of the show. We'll have him on the program again. I want to say hello to Eileen, who's watching on Facebook Live. Good morning, Eileen. Glad to have you with us. The Lightning, if you look at the standings every day, Marshall, it changes. First, they're in third place, then they go to second, then they have a shot at first, then they drop back down to third. Today, they're in second again, and these final 8 games or so that the Lightning have left are really going to be critical games as far as whether they finish first, second, or third in the Atlantic Division.
Well, the first thing I want to say is it's about time for them to re-examine how they do the playoffs in the NHL. They set it up so they would create rivalries. Okay, you've done that and they're established. Now it's time to go back to 1-8, 2-7, 3-6, because a Panthers Lightning series should not be the first round series. It just shouldn't. And then you got to get better than that. That's all I'm saying, is you got to do a better job than that. The NHL did a nice job of creating some rivalries, boosting their ratings, boosting their TV. Now it's time to go back and let's do it the right way. And let's not have these games like that, or let's not have Toronto and Lightning or Toronto and Florida in the first round. One of those teams is going home, and 2 of them maybe. Yeah. And in the first round, and that's just not right. They're gonna, that's a 7-game series between 2 teams that hate each other, that have played great series in the past, and that needs to be later on. The Lightning needs to. Go ahead, Jason.
I'm just going to say, think about in the NBA playoffs, if Boston and Cleveland were to meet in the first round.
Yep.
What an anticlimactic matchup that would be, considering you've got 2 of probably 2 best teams in the East. One of them's going to go home right away. You're 100% right.
And the NBA has done a nice job with this play-in tournament. They've added some life. They've added the in-season tournament to their game. And I just think the NHL needs to follow suit and get back to it. But the one thing the Lightning have to do, whatever series they get in, they've got to get home ice advantage, because they're so much better at home than they are on the road. And that's a must. You can't go down to Florida and have a game 7, I don't think.
John Cooper and the Lightning have always downplayed that and said, well, it doesn't matter if we're home or away and all that. But I agree with you. I think that they are so much better at home, and the Lightning fans have just been terrific. It's so loud inside of Amalie Arena when they are home, and the playoffs, the intensity turns up even more.
And let's not forget the energy that the announcer happens to bring to that game, which some local team may have forgotten. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there.
No comment. But anyway, but I can't disagree with you. Well, Jason, we got to move along here, but thank you so much for checking in, and look forward to having you back in studio next Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Have a great show. Thank you so much.
All right.
take care,
Appreciate
Jason.
that.
All right,
Well,
thank you.
One little side note, I'm going to be heading to Los Angeles next month in May. And I had talked with the people at NBA 2K, who I've been recording now for this. I think this will be 5 years this year. And I told them about the situation with the Magic. And they said, as far as we're concerned, you will always be the voice of the Magic. And we want your voice on our video game for NBA 2K.
That's impressive.
That was very appreciated that they said that. They could have said, well, okay, we're going to bring the new announcer in, whoever that is. But they said, no, you will always be the voice of the Magic, and we want your voice on the video game. So I will still be going out to California next month. Was supposed to go in March, but because of the situation with my eye and the detached retina and the operation that I had on that, I could not go. I was not allowed to fly for a couple of months.
My sons still think that's the coolest thing, that you go out there and you do that and you tape it. They love it.
Yeah. Hello to Frank. Good to have you with us on Facebook Live. And you had mentioned, and Marshall, I'm going to ask you to say it again because my brother Pat is now listening on Facebook Live. Tell him he needs to get his behind down here.
I already brought it up, Pat. I said, I hear your voice all the time. I've never met you. It's about time for you to get down here. Canada's going to be the 51st state pretty soon anyway, so hopefully it'll get easier for you to get over here. But we'd love to have you come down, love to meet you, and love to hear you on the show.
Absolutely. And want to say hello to Horace. Horace is watching on Facebook Live as well. We are overdue for a break, so let's do that. And then your phone calls are coming up next. And also we're going to be talking with Josh Sperber from the Clearwater Threshers and giving away some tickets to the Clearwater Threshers. That's coming up at 9:45 today. It's a busy show, so grab a phone line and join us here on the home team on the TAN Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
For the first time ever, the home team is endorsing a place for all of you fishermen. And the winner is Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just a half mile south of Ulmerton Road in Largo. Betts, that's Betts, is open 7 days a week from 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday and 9 to 4 on Sunday. Everything you need from clothing to AFCO and skinny water culture to Shimano and Daiwa reels. They also do repair of your equipment. Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just a half mile south of Ulmerton in Largo, and online at customfishing.com.
When you talk about ice rink development in West Central Florida, one name stands alone: Iceman Development, LLC. Gordy Zimmerman, president and founder of Iceman Development, has played an integral part in the construction of the Ice Sports Forum in Brandon, the training home of the three-time Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Advent Health Center Ice Complex, a multi-million-dollar facility boasting 150,000 square feet, and ranked the top indoor ice rink facility by both the USA Today and Yelp. Iceman Development is currently involved in creating yet another outstanding ice rink facility in Trinity and Pasco County. Iceman's company mission is to build community projects that impact the area both in quality of life and economic growth. For more information, visit icemandevelopment.com. That's Iceman with 2 N's, development.com. The Clearwater Threshers are back, which means minor league baseball excitement returns to Baycare Ballpark. Opening night on April 8th is the fan favorite Dollar Tuesday. Enjoy dollar hot dogs, sodas, popcorn, and more as we celebrate the start of the Threshers minor league season. Opening weekend won't disappoint with a post-game concert on April 11th by Tampa's favorite top 40 country music band, Crossfire Creek, kicking off our Friday night concert series. Then stay after for a fantastic fireworks display following the game on Saturday, April 12th. Visit threshersbaseball.com for tickets and more information as we kick off the 2025 season in style. Sooner or later, you're going to need a plumber. It's just a fact of life. Want somebody honest and reliable? The plumber I use is the Bearded Plumber. I've known Thomas since his high school days and now is an established plumber who offers 24-hour-a-day full service because plumbing emergencies don't wait. Keep this number handy. You know you're going to need it. It's 866-882-3273. The Bearded Plumber, 866-882-3273.
Life Builders Christian Counseling Center brings hurting people to wholeness in Christ. Life Builders is a professional counseling center with multiple counselors and locations in Brandon and Tampa. They offer in-person, Zoom, and group sessions, counseling individuals, married couples, children and adolescents, and families. Some of our licensed counselors take most insurances. Call 813-438-5949 or visit lifebuilderscounseling.org. Life Builders can help. 813-438-5949 and at lifebuilderscounseling.org.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Porter, voice of the Lightning and host of the Home Team Sports Radio Show. I'm here to tell you about our educational home team, Cambridge Christian School. No longer Tampa Bay's best-kept secret, CCS is the perfect blend of academic rigor and a biblical worldview foundation, serving families for over 60 years. Come see why we are the #1 rated Christian school in Tampa and visit us at ccslancers.com.
Looking for newer used golf clubs and balls? Stop by T&D Golf at 4205 West Waters Avenue, a half-mile west of Dale Mabry. Brand name clubs at discount prices. T&D has the best repair facility with the largest selection of grips in stock. Hundreds of sets of gently used clubs, a large selection of putters and wedges, and the best selection of quality used golf balls in Florida. Open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. T&D Golf at 4205 West Waters Avenue, a half-mile west of Dale Mabry.
I want to tell you about one of Tampa's hidden gems that you may not know about. It's the Pirate Water Taxi that takes you up and down the Hillsborough River from the Tampa Convention Center to Armature Works. I ride it all the time. It runs from 11:30 a.m. until 8:30 p.m., 7 days a week. What a great way to see the sights of downtown Tampa with beverage service available on board. Best part is you can hop on and off at any of their 12 stops all day for one low price. For more information, visit piratewatertaxi.com.
The Florida State Fairgrounds is home to so much more than just the fair that runs every February. Concerts, trade shows, conferences, and competitions are all just a few of the things you'll find at the Florida State Fairgrounds and Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater all year long. For the very latest information and schedules, visit floridastatefair.com. The Florida State Fair and so much more, all happening at the Florida State Fairgrounds and Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater. We'll see you at the Florida State Fairgrounds.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to the home team. And Donald, you should know that Courtney is watching on Facebook Live and also said that Violet said hello and your grandkids as well. So,
yeah, hi, Courtney. Thanks for watching, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
hi, Violet. Hi, Jacob.
Lots of people tuned in, and it certainly is fun to have all of you with us. John from Clearwater is actually heading to the Sun and Fun Fly-In today. He's going today, and he's on en route there now, listening to the program, and also he's got his cousin that is going with him as well. So many people joining us here on the home team. If you want to join us, it's easy to do. You just pick up the phone, dial 727-441-3000, 727-441-3000. That is how you can reach us on the program. Talking about the Lightning and who their potential opponent could be. Right now, it looks like it'll either be the Florida Panthers or the Toronto Maple Leafs. Would you rather face either one of those teams, Marshall? Is one a better opponent for the Lightning than the other, or is it about even?
I really want to face them, and I'll tell you why. Because the alternate, because Washington's definitely the one, is you're going to face Ottawa. And we haven't played well against Ottawa. We lost the other night again. They're that hungrier, younger team that, you kind of scared you when you come to the playoffs. They're playing really well right now. They're fighting for their spot. I'm okay with playing Florida or Toronto. Again, the league needs to fix that. But all I'm saying is I think that we're better off playing a team that we're familiar with and know how to play against in the first round, other than, we always have that memory of Columbus coming in here and just whacking us 4 straight when we were the number 1 seed. And that I could see Ottawa doing that to somebody else. Like I could see Ottawa doing that to Toronto in a second. Like I could see them just, Toronto with all their playoff struggles, all of a sudden they got to go play a red hot another Canadian team. And, they wipe them out and they're gone early. I could see that happening.
I was asked this on David Alexander's program on 4680Q in Canada. Between the Maple Leafs and the Panthers, who would you rather play in the first round? I have a specific answer on that, but Marshall, I want to see who you would rather play in the first round between those two teams.
Oh, I'd rather play Toronto. No doubt about it. I just think that, we've had their number in the past. We've gone up there and beaten them in their building in a clinching game. And I think confidence-wise, now I say Florida, I will say losing Tkachuk was a gigantic loss for them, and they're going to struggle. They're not the same team since he went down. And Jason and I had a huge argument about the world. I don't even remember what it was called now. When they did the 4 teams, the countries, the 4 nations, we had a huge argument because of the amount of serious injury that came out of that to 2 teams, and that's really hurt Florida. Now, I know they went and got the rat, but I would rather go to Toronto in the first round. I just think it's something that, travel back and forth to a place that you're familiar with, that you've had success with. Florida's had our number the last couple of years. So I'm comfortable with that.
Donald, what do you think between those two?
I think Toronto as well. We do have their number going up there. We have played well against them. You're saying, with Ottawa, they are a young team, and they're hungry and they want to win. So there'll be a lot of checking by Ottawa.
Well, I am in agreement with both of you. I said Toronto as well, because for a different reason, though. And I'll say the different reason in 2 words: Sergei Bobrovsky. I think if Andrei Vasilevsky is the number 1 goaltender, I think Bobrovsky is at least 1A.
I agree with you.
And I don't want to face him in the first round.
He's played really well against us, too.
He has.
Really well.
And we've said this before, that when the hockey playoffs, if you get a hot goaltender, you can win it all as an 8 seed, unlike the NBA where it doesn't happen.
One guy can make that much difference. Yeah. I agree with you. But the thing I really am excited about this year with the Lightning is that we are so much better, and this is what we needed to do at 5-on-5. We're so much better.
Yeah.
Last year, we were strictly a power play team, and Stamkos was part of that. And bringing in Getzel and the way they can move the puck and the way they attack, top scoring team in the league, they are so much better 5-on-5. And in the playoffs, what always happens? They don't call penalties.
Yeah.
Okay. So
there won't be
that's
many
why
power
the last
plays.
couple of years the Lightning have struggled, because they don't get on the power play against a lot of these teams.
And the addition of Yanni Gord and Oliver Bjorkstrand, I think,
he's
really
been something.
helped.
He's really been something. I really like him.
So I mentioned when they got those two that I was more, as much as I like Yanni Gord, I was more excited about Oliver Bjorkstrand, because I think he's going to give them a lot. So we'll see how that plays out. We need to hit a break, and then when we come back, we're going to be joined by Josh Sperber, and Josh is going to be carrying 8 tickets for a Clearwater Thresher game. That's coming up. We talked about how nice it is to go out to Baycare Ballpark and all the different amenities they have there in addition to the game, and we're going to be talking more about that. And Marshall, you've got a pretty good question. I don't know if Josh is going to be able to answer it or not, but we'll find out when we come back. Stay with us and join us on the phone line, 727-441-3000, 727-441-3000. And I want to say the program has become so popular that it is beyond sold out. And that is good news and bad news for you, our listener. The bad news is we've had to add another mini break at the top of the hour, or 2 mini breaks, actually, 60 seconds in length at the beginning of the top of the hour break and the end of the top of the hour break. But the good news is we are going to have a contest for Facebook viewers at the top of the hour. to encourage you to stay with us and to not to go away during the top of the hour break. Or if you do go away, to remember to come back. But we will be giving out a trivia question at the top of the hour, and we're going to do this each and every Saturday. And whoever gets the question correct, and there could be multiple people that get it correct, we're going to keep a running total. And at the end of the month, whoever has the most correct answers at the end of the month is going to win a very nice prize. And we'll be doing that at the top of the hour each and every Saturday starting today. So we will have a trivia question for you.
As a caller and a contestant person, more sponsors, more prizes.
There you go. There you go. Said it very well, Marshall. More of the home team. You should be my agent. More of the home team coming up here on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3. You ready, Donald?
Yes, sir.
And Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are very happy to announce that the Palm Pavilion on Clearwater Beach is once again open for business. You can once again enjoy all of your favorite foods and drinks while enjoying the best sunsets on the beach. Once again, the Palm Pavilion on Clearwater Beach is reopened. You can find the Palm Pavilion at 10 Bay Esplanade on Clearwater Beach. It's open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Welcome back to the Palm Pavilion. Yes, the wait is over, and the Palm Pavilion of Clearwater Beach is back, and they're waiting to see you. Visit palmpavilion.com for the very latest information. And thank you for your continued patience for the reopening of the Palm Pavilion on Clearwater Beach. If you suffered damage from either or both Hurricanes Helene or Milton and are in need of some new windows or a new door, FAS Windows and Doors is the place to turn. Locally owned and operated, they can get you the best possible products at the best possible price. Right now, they're offering a $100 rebate on all windows and a $200 rebate on all doors. Financing is available with no payments, no interest, and no money down for 24 months. Just go to their website, FASWD.com. That's FASWD.com to schedule an appointment and check out their inventory. It pays to shop local and to go to a company that stands behind both their products and their service. Tell them you heard about them on the home team with Paul Porter, and they'll take special care of you. There when you need them, FAS Windows and Doors, FASWD.com. One of the questions I'm often asked is, how do you do it? With my busy schedule of working for the Lightning, Magic, Buccaneers, and the home team, I need to be in very good health. One person I have to thank for keeping me in good health for years is Dr. Troy Stirk of Stirk Family Medicine. He's helped me keep my blood pressure in check, my heart running smoothly, and an overall healthy feeling that is confirmed by my lab results. If you're looking for a good family physician, I heartily recommend Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine. You can reach his office at 813-264-7922. That's 813-264-7922. I'll tell you, Dr. Stirk is fantastic, and I'm sure you'll feel the same way if you become one of his patients. So now that you know my secret to staying healthy with a busy schedule, it's your turn. Call Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine, 813-264-7922. This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning, Magic, and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is, with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory.
If you fishermen and ladies need anything for your fishing enjoyment, you'll find it at Bet's Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just half a mile south of Almerton and Largo. Rods and reels by Shimano and Daiwa, frozen bait for saltwater fishing, clothing from Avco and Skinny Water Culture, Costa Del Mar sunglasses, and more. Visit them online at customfishing.com. Open 7 days a week from 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday and 9 to 4 on Sunday. Bet's Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just half a mile south of Almerton in Largo.
Did you know that Cambridge Christian School Athletic Department was honored with the Kerry McDonald Award as the 2A Athletic Program of the Year for the second consecutive year? The CCS Lancers have had 71 district championships, 21 regional championships, 5 state championships, and 37 Final Four teams. Over 200 of our student athletes have signed to play at the college level, and one has joined an NFL team. Visit us today at ccslancers.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to the home team. Glad to have you with us as we continue along. And Courtney says that she's so glad to hear the Palm Pavilion is open again, that they go there regularly when they're in Florida. So we appreciate that. And do you have your phone going there, Donald? If you can silence that, because otherwise it'll confuse some people. I'm hearing an echo. This is the greatest time ever been at Yankee Stadium. Anyway, glad to have all of you with us. And Courtney, I hope that you and your family will be regular viewers of the home team, because this week, of course, your dad is in studio, but he's always on the program. I mean, it's rare for Donald to miss a program, so you can hear from Donald each and every Saturday, just about.
Even when I'm on the water.
There you go. So if you want to see what he's doing and what he's up to, you know how to check in every Saturday from 9 to 11 Eastern time. And she's in Texas, right? So it'll be 8 to 10 Texas time, but we're glad to have you with us. Let's go back to the phone lines. We have Josh Sperber, the radio voice of the Clearwater Threshers, joining us. Josh, welcome back to the home team. We're getting ready for another season.
Happy baseball season, Paul. It's good to be back.
Well, good to have you here. And Tuesday night, right, is the home opener for the Threshers?
The most important of all opening days. Yes, indeed.
There you go. And what's going on Tuesday night? I know Tuesday night is a fan favorite in itself, just because of the Dollar Tuesdays. Tell us about that, and also about opening night. And I'm sure there's a lot of festivities being planned for that.
Oh, absolutely. Obviously Dollar Tuesday, as you said, a huge fan favorite, and certainly one of my favorite nights at the ballpark. Cheaper hot dogs, cheaper drinks. You can get them most drinks for $1, hot dogs, and dollar berm tickets as well. It's a really cute little place to watch the game. And of course, we're introducing the team on opening night. And it's just going to be a really, really fun night of baseball, just kind of celebrating that baseball's back and we've got a full season ahead of us.
Well, it is. And the Threshers, of course, really do a great job with all of their promotions. They have the best fireworks show, I think, in the entire Tampa Bay area when you get to the 4th of July and the series around that. So there's just so many things. And tell us a little bit about some of the other things. I know you've got the Silver Sharks and you've got the Little Anglers there as well. Just did some commercials for both of those things. Tell us more about those.
Well, those are both clubs for kind of both ends of the age spectrum, I guess. Little Anglers for kids 13 and under, Silver Sharks on Wednesdays for adults 55 and older. And it's just a good way to, get some people around your age group just to the game. For Little Anglers, we've got some swag bags for the kids if you guys sign up, and it's also on Taps and Tacos night on Thursday for their parents. So I think Thursday's a pretty perfect family friendly night. The parents can enjoy great tacos and good beer, while the kids can have some fun hanging with Finley and playing around at the ballpark. While and Silver Sharks, if you're 55 and older and you join Silver Sharks, you can get free parking for every Wednesday home game except for July the 3rd. And it's a pretty darn good deal. But, it's just another great way to get some friends out to the ballpark and have a great time at really one of the nicest places to watch a game you'll find.
I have to ask you, Josh, does white hair or no hair qualify for the Silver Sharks? Because I have white hair, and Marshall is still looking for his. So you don't have to have silver hair to get in and be a Silver Shark, right?
Silver Shark or no hair is pretty much a prerequisite. So they might not card you for the age ID for those ones. So I'd say you have a pretty good chance.
All right. Very good. Well, glad to hear that. Marshall, you had a question
Josh,
you wanted to ask Josh.
To me, minor league baseball is all about marketing, and I think you guys do an amazing job. I go to Asheville a lot and watch games, the tourist games up there, and I think it's very difficult in our area because you have Major League Baseball and you have so much else to do. So I compliment the Threshers even more because it's that much harder. Like when I go to some of these minor league ballparks up there, there's a lot of character and a lot of fun, but they're also the only game in town. They're the only thing going on most of the time in those type of cities, whereas we have so much. But the one question I wanted to ask you was, and maybe you can or can't answer it, but were there ever any talks between the Rays coming there like there were with the Yankees field? Because I love your field so much better than what's going on over there. I just didn't know if there was ever any connection, if you might have heard anything or if you knew anything. I just was wondering.
To be honest, all I heard was rumors in terms of like what was actually going on. I knew probably just as much as anybody else did. But I mean, the rumors were that we were one of the ballparks considered, but I think it's just that, it's closer to the Rays target demographic, I think is what I've ended up reading. But in terms of official information about this whole thing, I'm pretty clueless for the most part.
Well, like I said, I think they've done an amazing job over there. They've extended the parking. There's way more places to park. Yeah. It's just really, they're doing the right things over there. That's just the way I feel.
All right. Well, Josh, we really appreciate it. If people want to find out more about the Threshers, the schedule, the tickets, and all the promotions, how do they do that?
They can go to threshersbaseball.com. Pretty much all the information is going to be on there. And not to promote myself, but I'm pretty sure I plug all of it during Threshers broadcast. You can also find that on threshersbaseball.com. If you just search Listen Live, you'll get a link. We're on Valley Live and MILB TV as well, just about every night. 6 games a week starting on Tuesday. And Threshers are in Dunedin this week against the Blue Jays. So I'll be calling the games online there.
And you brought some tickets with you too, right? For the game coming up on the 11th?
That's right. We got a Crossfire Creek, a country band concert coming after the game on the 11th. And I never go anywhere without some Threshers tickets.
So we've got 2 family 4-packs that we're going to give away for that game on April 11th, this coming Friday. If you would like one of those family 4-packs, either call in and say, I'd like to go, or mention it on Facebook Live. The first 2 people that ask for them, they will be yours. And Josh, again, thanks so much. Look forward to having you on all season long.
As do I, Paul. Thanks for having me.
All right. Very good. We have a trivia question here at the top of the hour. And you guys both probably know the answer to this, but don't say it out loud. What do the letters ESPN stand for? What does ESPN stand for? If you know the answer to that, post it on Facebook Live, and you'll be in the running for a nice prize at the end of April. What does ESPN stand for? Hour number 2 of the home team coming up on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live. Folks, let me tell you about a gem of a restaurant in Carrollwood. It's Hank's Place, where you'll find some of the best barbecue, catfish, wings, sausage, gator, shrimp, and a whole lot more. Their meats are dry rubbed and slowly smoked. All of your favorite sides, too, from baked beans to collard greens to mac and cheese to onion rings. Are you hungry yet? Discover why Hank's Place at 8546 Northdale Maybury, just 100 yards north of Waters Avenue, is a place that locals have known about for years. Hey, would a guy like me lie to you about food? Hank's Place, a place to hang your hat and lick your fingers.
Looking to elevate your brand with custom apparel? Look no further than Athletic House, your one-stop shop for screen printing and embroidery in Clearwater. Whether you need embroidery on your polos or full-color logos screen printed on t-shirts, our expert team will bring your vision to life with precision and quality. Family owned and operated for over 20 years, we pride ourselves on the personal attention we give to all our customers. Making your team look good is our business. Athletic House. Call us today for a quote.
WTAN, Clearwater.
FM 106.1.
WDCF, Dade City.
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Stacey Lynn in Washington, where the White House will have a visit from its first foreign leader wanting to negotiate tariffs with President Trump. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is expected to meet with the president on Monday. Americans are concerned about how prices will rise from the tariffs. This woman was stocking up at a Costco in Massachusetts.
We're talking about it that we should buy some rice because we get rice that's made in Thailand. And we said we don't really need it right now, but we're going to buy it.
On the way to a golf outing this morning, Trump slammed China for its retaliatory tariffs. On Truth Social, he said it won't be easy, but claims the end result will be historic. This after the stock markets plummeted the last 2 days, wiping out more than a year of gains. The BBC's Stephen McDonnell is in Beijing.
The rest of the world is looking at the superpowers. They're at each other's throats, and economists are warning this could spread around the globe, causing potentially catastrophic damage to the world economy.
And this just in, because of the auto tariffs, Jaguar Land Rover is pausing shipments of its Britain-made cars to the U.S. for a month as it considers how to mitigate the cost. Rallies are taking place all across the country today against the Trump agenda. There are more than 1,200 hands-off demonstrations planned by more than 150 groups in all 50 states. Well, after a marathon overnight session, the Senate passed a GOP budget plan.
The yeas are 51, the nays are 48. The concurrent resolution, as amended, is adopted.
The resolution is a multi-trillion-dollar mix of tax breaks and spending cuts. South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham.
If we do nothing, the 2017 President Trump tax cuts expire in December.
Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said the plan will lead the nation into disaster.
Donald Trump has betrayed the American people. Tonight, Senate Republicans joined him in that betrayal.
The package now goes to the House for what is expected to be a difficult vote as soon as next week. Michael Toscano, CBS News, Washington.
NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte tells CBS News Russia must do more to end the war in Ukraine.
The ball clearly is in the court of the Russians. They are not moving fast enough, is my impression, including the impression I'm getting from my American interlocutors.
The full interview airs on tomorrow's Face the Nation. Final four play today in the men's NCAA tourney, where we'll find out who comes out on top in the battle of the number one seeds. For the women, the national title game is set. South Carolina plays UConn tomorrow. This is CBS News.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. It was an easy riddle. Learn more at progressive.com.
Do you have questions after being injured in a car accident or injured because of someone's negligence? Do you feel overwhelmed or uncertain about the next steps after being injured in a crash? The personal injury attorneys at Peronic, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes have been helping their injured clients since 1955 and are now on this radio station to provide guidance to you. Listen to FLA Law each Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. Let their decades of experience help you and your family. Offices in Clearwater, non-attorney spokesman.
Hi, I'm Dawn Reese with The Dawn Reese Show, most powerful names in entertainment, every Thursday at 5 p.m. I have so many different segments I'm so excited to share with you, from miracle stories to celebrity interviews with Hollywood connections to travel, and soon the Housewives of Florida, to local business promoting your business on the air with me, an amazing opportunity to grow your business. Tune in to the Tan Talk Radio Network, 106.1 FM on Thursdays, 5 p.m. with me, Dawn Reese.
Tune in Saturdays from 3 to 5 p.m. for Miss Sarah's Dynamic Gospel Power Show. That's 2 hours of great gospel music every Saturday from 3 to 5 p.m., all brought to you by the Ozona Pig Restaurant in Ozona. Yes, that's every Saturday from 3 to 5 p.m. It's Miss Sarah's Dynamic Gospel Power Show. Tune in on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
This is Paul Porter, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Orlando Magic, and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I hope you'll join me every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for my weekly show, The Home Team, heard right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live, The Home Team with Paul Porter, talking Lightning, Bucks, Rays, USF, and a whole lot more. Your calls and prize giveaways. Join us this Saturday and every Saturday morning for The Home Team, 9 to 11 on the Tan Talk Radio Network. 10 years ago, my wife and I started a nonprofit ministry to help victims of domestic violence called Reach Out, Speak Out. Would you consider a donation to help our ministry? If you'd like to join our auxiliary board or just be a friend to Reach Out, Speak Out by helping with your time, talents, or treasures whenever you're available, please contact us by visiting reachoutspeakout.org. Please send your donation to Post Office Box 4979, Tampa, Florida 33677, 5013C number 47163. 0804. My favorite restaurant in all of Tampa Bay is J. Alexander's at the corner of Dale, Mabry, and Cypress, just south of I-275 in Tampa. The prime rib is to die for. Steaks are just as mouthwatering, and that's not all. Seafood like salmon, ahai tuna, shrimp, or crab cakes. Don't forget the salads and appetizers like my favorite French onion soup, and top it all off with a homemade dessert. J. Alexander's in Tampa at Dale, Mabry, and Cypress, just south of 275. Open 7 days, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Reservations suggested but not necessary.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
When the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady. I don't know why we ever think it won't.
It's time for the Home Team on the Tan Talk Radio Network. The Home Team is brought to you in part by Cambridge Christian School, a Christian education that's affordable and well-respected. By FAS Windows and Doors, with stores in Tampa and Orlando. By Action Air Conditioning, family-owned and operated, serving the entire Tampa Bay area. And now, here he is, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Orlando Magic, and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
Well, thank you very much, Brother Pat, and welcome to hour number 2 of the Home Team. We're glad to have you with us as we continue along on this Saturday morning, and want to mention that both Courtney and David had the correct answers for what does the letters ESPN stand for, and Matt actually had it as well. But it's the Entertainment and Sports Programming Network. That's what ESPN stands for. Whenever you see that, you see ESPN, that's what it stands for. And David has also posted on Facebook Live, I'm canceling my Magic season tickets. I'm not going to comment on that one way or the other, but you do what you want to do. And if people feel that strongly about it, I certainly appreciate their support, and I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, glad to have Josh Sperber with us, and a real treat for you coming up, Donald. We're going to be talking in about 10 minutes or so with Jesse Wright from Betts Fishing Center.
Yeah,
and Marshall and I will go out and get a bagel and a coffee, and Matt will take a little nap, and we'll just let the two of you go back and forth. But he's a guy that's as big into fishing as you are, and I know you'll have a lot to talk about with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we could take over the show if we want to talk fishing.
Oh, I know that. I know that. And thank you for bringing in the bagels, by the way. We appreciate you doing that on your way in.
Jason, did you hear that? If you're listening, Jason, shout out to Jason, who owns the best bakery in this county and never brings food to the show. Just wanted to let you know.
Slam! Oh, wait, I can't say that anymore. Lightning goal! There, now I can say something. Okay. But anyway, thank you for doing that, Don.
Oh, my pleasure.
We really appreciate that. And that cinnamon raisin bagel really hit the spot this morning. So appreciate you doing that. If you want to join us on the phone lines, been great talking with Marshall and Donald, but we'd like to hear from you. It is talk radio, and we'd like to have you join us on the phone lines. Normally, the second hour gets real busy, and we can't get everybody in, and we end up doing a whole lot of shuffling around. So by all means, join us on the phone line, 727-441-3000, 727-441-3000. Want to get your thoughts on as far as the Rays. They are one of the best pitching staffs in Major League Baseball. The big question, I think, Marshall, is going to be, can they score enough runs? You can't win if you don't score, and you can't depend totally on your pitching staff.
Well, the pitching staff, the starters have been amazing, early going. I think what I saw, one of the stats was they walked 3 guys in their first game, and they hadn't walked a guy until, I don't know if they did last night, but it'd been a long time since they even put somebody on. Well, if you're not giving free passes, you're going to limit the other team's ability to score. But I just want to see this team click when everybody starts hitting. Like if they can get more than Brandon Lau and Leondi and a couple of these other young guys that are hitting now to sustain it. They still seem to struggle a little bit getting runners in from third base with less than 2 outs. They've just got to get better at it if they're going to compete, because the Yankees can hit, the Orioles can hit, there's a lot of teams there. The Rangers can hit just like last night, so if you're going to compete with these teams, you're going to have to hit and you're going to have to score. Your pitching can be all that, but if you're not scoring runs and you're still losing games 2-1, 1-0, it's going to be a long struggle season. And I think the Rays need to use this homestand that they're having. I know they're on the road now, but they come back again for a whole bunch of games.
Yeah, they got like 13 straight home games.
They need to be 5, 6, 7 games over 500 in this stretch when you head out on the road and go start hitting all these places because of your weird schedule this year.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can sustain that, I'll be even that more extra impressed. But the one thing you do need in a long season is good pitching, and they have good pitching.
Yeah, absolutely. John from Clearwater has claimed the first 4-pack of tickets for the Clearwater Thresher game coming up this Friday, April the 11th. John has a 4-pack, and we have one more 4-pack still remaining. So if you would like those, either mention it when you call in or post it on Facebook Live, and we'll be able to see exactly how that goes. Mentioned on Facebook Live, just an FYI, I do know the feeling of how the person coming in to replace one will feel. I actually experienced that in Cleveland when I replaced the immortal Joe Tate as the play-by-play announcer for 2 years back in the early 80s. And his last game there, I happened to be the public address announcer for Joe Tate's last game before I became the radio announcer. And at the Richfield Coliseum, a number of people started the chant, "Don't go Joe, don't go Joe, don't go Joe." And not to say that's going to happen on Wednesday night during my final game there at the Kia Center. But it'll be interesting to see, and I know what it's going to be like for whoever they choose to come in and be the new PA voice of the Orlando Magic. I don't envy him or her, whoever it may be, because I've been down that road before, and I replaced a legend, and it's not easy.
How many years is it, by the way, with you at the Magic?
36.
36 years.
36 years, and I had a number of people even mention. And they mentioned on Twitter and on Facebook, or actually it's X, I guess, not Twitter technically, but they mentioned that their grandfather first took them to a game 36 years ago. And then as they became parents, and they took their kids to the game. And now their kids are taking their kids and their granddaughters and grandsons to the game. And hearing that
You can
same
stop
voice.
anytime. You can
Yeah. Well, it's like when one of the dancers in the 407 said, my grandmother was a magic dancer in your first year. I said, thank you for that. I guess it does show longevity. That's for sure. Well, we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to be joined by Jesse Wright from Betts Fishing Center, and we're going to let him and Donald do a little fishing talk back and forth. And please don't tune out. If you're not a fishing person, don't go say, it's a good chance for me to go get a cup of coffee. Stay with us. Maybe you'll learn a little bit about fishing. And
you mean while we go get a cup of coffee? And
Donald, I do want to ask you, though, before we get to Jesse after the break, how did you start to become such? Was it at a young age, or how did you become interested in fishing?
I was 6 years old when I started fishing. My father was friends with a guy out in Wantagh that was Captain Eddie's, and he would rent a boat, a little 12-footer with a little 9-horsepower Merc on the back. And
where is Wantagh?
By Belmore in Nassau County, Long Island.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
I was going to say, to me, it's the kind of soup you get at a Chinese restaurant.
I was going to say, it sounded like something where coronavirus came from. But
we lived across the street from a canal and used to fish on there, catching flounder and blowfish. And so coming down to I used to fish the Great South Bay for flounder and fluke and bluefish, and did some tournaments up there. And then when I came down to Florida to come visit, stay with my brother-in-law Frank, it's like, look at all this water. It's like, wait, what? We could fish, 12 months out of the year.
What's your best
freeze.
catch ever? Like your one moment?
I caught a 78-pound amberjack on a party boat. Took 2 gaffs.
I was going to say, how long did that take you to get in?
Almost 40 minutes.
Wow.
I was in the stern of the boat and worked my way all the way to the front of an 80-foot boat, clearing every other angler out of the way. And they took two people with 2 gaffs to pull that thing in.
Wow. That's 78 pounds. Unbelievable.
Yes.
So it was your dad then that got you fishing? Took you when you were 6 years old?
Not really. I credit actually my friend's dad, Mr. Brewer, who is actually a retired sea captain. So he would pile all the kids into the Vista Cruiser and take us all fishing. So on the Great South Bay. And that's actually who really got me into fishing. And I really started paying attention to what lures to use. In fact, one of my first dates with Liz, I took her fishing Shinnecock Canal, and I know she knows this story. And so it's not a great story, but it's a fun story. We laugh about it now. But so took her fishing. But I've taken her fishing. We've had boats and island hopping. She's actually been to Mexico a couple times with me catching fish, mahi on some of the charters, and tuna. I've got a great story about we landed 13 and a half tunas in Mexico. One was bitten half by a barracuda. So, I mean, I've got all sorts of fished in Alaska. So, all the way ice fishing up in Massachusetts and Maine, New Hampshire.
Marshall, there's a lesson in this for both you and I. You know what that lesson is? Never ask a fisherman a question. But no, that's great. And Courtney mentioned on Facebook Live that amberjack was in her bathtub, and it was longer than the tub.
That's a fact.
Well, you heard my question. What was the one memory? The one. That's what I said. The one.
The one. Yeah.
And you asked, and I had to break in. Otherwise, you and I'd both be going home, and he would still be answering. But no, that's fine.
Yeah.
More of the home team coming up here on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350. FM 106.1, 102.3, and Fisherman Donald Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
If you suffered damage from either or both Hurricanes Helene or Milton and are in need of some new windows or a new door, FAS Windows and Doors is the place to turn. Locally owned and operated, they can get you the best possible products at the best possible price. Now, right now, they're offering a $100 rebate on all windows and a $200 rebate on all doors. Financing is available with no payments and no interest and no money down for 24 months. Just go to their website, faswd.com. That's faswd.com to schedule an appointment and check out their inventory. It pays to shop local and to go to a company that stands behind both their products and their service. Tell them you heard about them on the Home Team with Paul Porter, and they'll take special care of you. They're there when you need them. FAS Windows and Doors, faswd.com.
Much like the weather, your life could change at the drop of a hat. Don't be caught unprepared. You don't know what will happen tomorrow, but no matter what happens to you, you can make sure your loved ones are provided for with a life insurance policy from Auto Owners Insurance. Meet with a local independent agent and secure a policy now to rest easy knowing you're protecting the ones you love. Visit Vermost Insurance in Tampa Bay today at vermost.com. Kids can be a part of the coolest minor league baseball club in town by joining the Little Anglers Kids Club with the Clearwater Threshers, presented by Baycare Kids. For only $25, children 13 and younger can come to Thursday Threshers home games and take part in fun activities, receive cool gear, and enjoy free food. Plus, be sure to bring your glove for an on-field pregame catch and run the bases after the game to cap off 9 innings of fun. Go to threshersbaseball.com and join the Little Anglers Kids Club today. Looking for a special night out or an out-of-the-ordinary way for a dinner date with family or friends? Check out the 2-hour Yacht Starship Cruise sailing from Channelside Drive in downtown Tampa. It features a complete dinner and free open bar, disc jockey and dancing while you sail away, taking in the best views of Tampa Bay. Dine, drink, and dance the night away. Reservations are required, so visit yachtstarship.com for all the details or call 813-223-7999. This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning, Magic, and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory.
For the first time ever, the Home Team is endorsing a place for all of you fishermen, and the winner is Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just half a mile south of Almerton Road in Largo. Betts, that's B-E-T-T-S, is open 7 days a week from 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, and 9 to 4 on Sunday. Everything you need, from clothing by AFCO and Skinny Water Culture to Shimano and Daiwa Reels. They also do repair of your equipment. Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just half a mile south of Almerton in Largo. Online at customfishing.com.
Grace Family Church with now 8 locations to serve you. Just how big is Grace Family Church? Here's Executive Pastor Chris Bonham.
On a typical Sunday will be about 13,500 people. And then we have an online crowd that watches as well. That's dispersed all throughout our campuses and throughout people watching all over the world.
It seems like a big church, but it does feel small. I don't want a big church, but so the numbers are big, but there's a lot of opportunity for belonging and intimacy in the church.
Yeah, that's one of our values. We definitely want to make a big church small. So if someone's like, oh, I can't go, it's too big, we would really encourage you to check it out, because we do a lot of intentional things to take the large crowd and move it into a smaller more manageable relationship.
Yep. For more information about all 8 campuses at Grace Family Church, visit gfcflorida.com. That's gfcflorida.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to the home team. Glad to have you with us as we continue along here. And a question for you, Donald, from Facebook Live. What type of fish are caught in the Hillsborough River right downtown? What would you find there?
People have been catching tarpon, snook, even largemouth bass, because bass will be in, they can be in a little brackish water, ladyfish. I mean, just a whole bunch of different species of fish come up in there. It depends upon the pollution, how much pollution or dirty water, as they call it, where the fish are.
Mm-hmm.
So, but redfish will survive in brackish water as well, because you can catch a redfish. Snook will sometimes go up in fresh water as well. So they'll adapt. So you got all that fresh water flushing out, but as long as there's no pollution.
There's a lot of stuff flushing into the Hillsborough River too.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. As long as
it
we're
wouldn't
not
be my first choice.
Sewage. I wouldn't eat any of the fish from there.
Okay,
So, but you can catch them.
That's good to know. Not to eat the fish that are out there right in the immediate Hillsborough River by downtown. We have Jesse Wright with us from our friends out at Betts Fishing Center. Jesse, welcome back to the home team. So glad to have you with us.
How's it going, guys?
We're doing good. And say hello to Donald, one of your frequent customers and great promoter for Betts Fishing Center. He's with us in studio today.
How's it going, Donald?
Good, Jesse. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, hanging in there, man. Just another day at work.
That's right.
There you go. But Jesse was telling us, or actually Donald was telling us about some of his catches. And I wanted to ask you, Jesse, because you post on Facebook Live frequently and on Facebook. We asked Donald the question, what was your number one catch of all time? And you mentioned what, Donald, an amberjack?
A 78-pound amberjack.
Okay.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
And
That's a big fish.
Where did you catch that?
That was out on it's what they call the Mexican Pride, which is a sunken ship, barge out in the Gulf of Mexico. That's an artificial reef. And we were hovering over that, dropped down a live pinfish, and then all of a sudden I'm hooked into, it felt like just the bottom, and it started running, and it's like clearing out all the other anglers. I was on a party boat and fought that thing to the front of the boat, and 2 gaffs to get that in the boat.
Wow. So let me ask you the question, Jesse. What is the biggest catch you've ever had?
Ooh, man. There's a couple. I think probably the most memorable one would probably be my bull shark from 2014. That one got a lot of publicity and was probably the biggest fish I've ever caught. It was like an 8-foot bull shark off Indian Rocks Beach.
Wow. Now, when you're reeling it in and you see that it's a shark, it is a shark. I mean, people are afraid to go near sharks. What kind of special care do you have to take when you realized it was an 8-foot bull shark?
We were fairly new with it, but we tried our best to keep that fish in the water the best we could to get the hook and everything removed and get a good release. So as long as you keep it like in the wash, make sure you're safe and the shark is safe at the same time, you should be good. I mean, everything's gotten so much more advanced over the years because everybody's shark fishing more. So there's a lot more care to it now versus how it was 11 years ago.
I'm sorry, but the sharks' needs are coming very second. If I'm out
there. Yeah, there's no shortage of sharks.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Jesse, what are some of the better fishing spots? I mean, Donald mentioned earlier that you get down to Florida and you're surrounded by water. Do you prefer fresh water? Do you prefer salt water? What is your preference?
You can tell Paul is not a fisherman because that is not what you ask any fisherman. Oh, where's the best spot?
Touche.
It's like, where did you catch that fish? In the side of the mouth.
All right, you're right. You're right, Marshall. Donald, you go ahead and interview Jesse and let him do it. But what are some of the most popular catches? And do you enjoy saltwater or do you enjoy freshwater fishing more?
I started freshwater fishing. My dad taught me how to fish, and it started with freshwater. But as I've gotten older, saltwater kayak fishing is my number one. That's my favorite thing to do, and that's mainly inshore redfish, snook, and trout.
All right, Donald is shaking his head in agreement. Do you feel the same way, Donald?
Absolutely. And I've had 4 or 5 foot sharks across my lap. Those bonnet heads, catching them on the kayak. I mean, that is fun. You know, when you get that shark
sounds like a
across your lap,
blast.
it really is. I mean, my wife says I'm nuts, but yeah, I've held sharks across my lap.
Well, the one thing that got me going with fishing was I got a buddy that takes me out and we do some grouper fishing. But when you catch fish and you ice it and then you eat it that night or the next day, there is an unbelievable difference in the taste and from what you get anywhere. And that's what really hooked me into it. No pun intended.
I like that. Yeah, hooked you.
Yeah, no, that was a Paul Porter.
Right?
Sorry.
Yeah.
That was a Paul Porter.
Jesse, tell us a little bit about Betts Fishing Center. It's really a great place to go. Donald, you go there all the time, right? And
yeah, it is a great store with everything that they do. Minn Kota trolling motor repairs. I'll let Jesse go, but I can go too.
Yeah, I mean, we've been in business for a while. I've been working here. It's actually been last week was my 12th year here. So it's been a minute working here and seeing how everything's changed over the years. But yeah, man, we work on rods, reels, trolling motors. We sell a bunch of inshore, offshore, and freshwater tackle. Anything you can do with like rod building, we got all the components for it. You can buy rod and reel parts here as well. A little bit of everything, pretty much. We got a pretty good apparel line as well. We got a lot of clothing, foul weather gear. Yeah, you name it, we pretty much got it here.
All right. And where are you located, and what's the easiest way to find out or to tell us about your website and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so we're on Starkey Road, about half a mile south of Ulmerton, on the west side of the road. Also, our hours are 9 to 6 throughout the week, and then 9 to 4 on Sunday. And then as far as stuff going on with our website, we do have a brand new website now. We got it this last year, so everything's updated. And we also have a spring sale coming up on May 3rd and 4th, where pretty much everything in the store is going to be discounted, and we're going to have a ton of people here. We'll have a tent outside, and it's usually a pretty good time of the year to come by here and get some fishing gear.
All right. Well, you know what we need to do, I think, Jesse, we need to do a show from there.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree.
Yeah, have people come out and see us and get all their fishing supplies and whatever they need to get done. I think it'd be a tremendous time to come out and have the home team there at the Betts Fishing Center.
That'd be awesome. We can definitely do it.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Jesse. And thank you for making fishing such a big part of the home team. I'm learning more and more as I go along from people like Donald and yourself. So I know fishing is very popular here in the state of Florida. If you're surrounded by water on 3 sides, you have to be ready to go fishing. So.
It is the #1 participation sport in the state of Florida and the United States.
Jesse, I'll tell you something I would love to do, and this is totally up to you, but I would love to go out on a fishing trip with you, when you're going out someday, and just observe and just watch. I love being out on the water, as my friends at the Pirate Water Taxi know. I love being out on the water, and I would just love to go out and watch you fish and the other people and see the kind of fish that you're catching, that sort of thing. I'd love to do it if you ever have the opportunity.
Yeah, we can definitely figure something out. I'll talk to some of the guys here and maybe get a trip put together and we can all go out.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun, and I would be a very interested spectator as things go on. But,
His schedule will be clearing up as of probably the next week. Just
easy, Marshall. All right. Well, Jesse, thank you so much. We appreciate you and all you do for the home team and the partnership that we have.
Jesse, real quick, I just fresh and saltwater is nothing better than a topwater explosion on a Zaris Spook Jr.
Well, speaking of topwater, the last 3 or 4 trips that we've been out, we've thrown topwater lures pretty much all day long, from 6 o'clock in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. The topwater bite's been so good. So I agree with you 100% on that.
That is just the best.
I have no idea what the two of you are talking about, but I'll say I'll trust the source.
Thought this was a family show. What I heard there.
Marshall and I both looked at each other like, what? What is he saying? But all right. Thank you so much. We appreciate it, Jesse. And Marshall and I will try and learn as best we can. And Donald has a smile on his face. So everything's good. All right. Thank you so much,
guys.
Jesse. Okay. Appreciate it.
Have a nice day.
All right. We need to hit a break and then your phone calls. We finished both of our guests now. Your phone calls between now and the top of the hour. More of the home team coming up here on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
When you talk about ice rink development in West Central Florida, one name stands alone: Iceman Development, LLC. Gordy Zimmerman, president and founder of Iceman Development, has played an integral part in the construction of the Ice Sports Forum in Brandon, the training home of the 3-time Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Advent Health Center Ice Complex, a multi-million-dollar facility boasting 150,000 square feet, and ranked the top indoor ice rink facility by both the USA Today and Yelp. Iceman Development is currently involved in creating yet another outstanding ice rink facility in Trinity and Pasco County. Iceman's company mission is to build community projects that impact the area both in quality of life and economic growth. For more information, visit icemandevelopment.com. That's Iceman with 2 N's, development.com. Much like the weather, your life could change at the drop of a hat. Don't be caught unprepared. You don't know what will happen tomorrow, but no matter what happens to you, you can make sure your loved ones are provided for with a life insurance policy from Auto Owners Insurance. Meet with a local independent agent and secure a policy now to rest easy knowing you're protecting the ones you love. Visit Vermost Insurance in Tampa Bay today at vermost.com.
Looking for a culinary and cocktail river journey? Then check out Craft, Florida's only dining river cruise. Craft features 3-course dining on the Hillsborough River with America's first open galley kitchen with gas cooking. The 2-hour cruise sailing from downtown Tampa will leave you with breathtaking views and mouth-watering cuisine served right to your table. For reservations, call crafttampa.com or call 813-223-7999.
This is Paul Porter. With the schedule I keep working for the Lightning, Magic, and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is, with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory. Happy 60th birthday, Cambridge Christian School. Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Porter, voice of the Lightning, here to tell you about the exciting growth happening here at CCS. Coming this fall is our state-of-the-art 45,000 square foot high school and STEM lab. For over 60 years, Cambridge Christian's award-winning academics, athletics, and the arts has been changing the way you think about Christian education. Visit us today at ccslancers.com. After a car accident, there are many questions that you need answers to. Who pays for my car repairs? Who pays for the medical bills? What about my lost wages? And more. The personal injury law firm of Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes has been answering these questions for their clients for nearly 70 years. Since 1955, they've been a voice of the injured in the legal system. As one of the longest established law firms in Tampa Bay, Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes is here to answer your questions. Listen to their live call-in radio show on this channel every Tuesday evening from 5 to 6 p.m. or call them at 727-796-8282 or visit them at voiceoftheinjured.com. Offices Clearwater, non-attorney spokesperson. Grace Family Church now has 8 locations to serve you throughout the Tampa Bay area. Talking about the 8th campus, here's Senior Pastor Craig Altman.
In the Land O'Lakes area, I would say between Land O'Lakes and Trinity off of Suncoast and 54, brand new campus. So if you're looking to get in on the ground floor, it's an exciting campus, a lot of young people, and I encourage you to check it out.
And if you're wondering what denomination Grace Family Church is, Executive Pastor Chris Bonham explains.
Well, it's actually a non-denominational church, but the neat thing is all the denominations you just mentioned, a lot of them do come. And so what's neat is this melting pot of different beliefs, but we come together based off the Bible and really teach that.
Visit one of the 8 campuses of Grace Family Church. For more information, go to gfcflorida.com. That's gfcflorida.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to the home team. Glad to have you with us as we continue along. And someone mentioned on Facebook, Donald, that your co-host is really cute. So
I know it wasn't Matt, and I know it wasn't Paul. So I guess maybe I got lucky there. I don't know.
There you go. All right. But if you want to join us on the phone line, 727-441-3000, just as Don has done. I'm overdonned here today.
And you were saying that before. Now we call him Donald because we have the Don in St. Pete. So.
Right. Yeah. But Don in St. Pete is with us on the phone lines. Hello, Don. Welcome to the home team.
Good morning. Good morning to everybody. I'm glad to hear Donald and Marshall as well.
Good morning.
Well, the show truly is a family, Don. As you know, you and I had a chance to spend a day together, going to the Rays game and just getting to know each other even better. And I really do look at the show as a family. That old show, Cheers, I think, where everybody sat around the bar and everybody knew your name and all that. Whenever I hear that song, I always think of the home team, where everybody knows your name. And you mentioned that you didn't know who Donald was when you first came in until you heard his voice.
Yeah, if I ever met a whole group at one of your Christmas parties, I'd probably want to close my eyes and just listen, and I could say, okay, that's Donald.
Yeah. You pretty much could. Absolutely. But good to have you with us, Don.
Yeah, I want to tell you something. I was unaware of the announcement that took place yesterday with the Magic, and so I had the radio on. I listen on the radio. I'm old-fashioned.
Good for you. Yeah.
Close enough that it comes in pretty clearly on the AM and FM side. But we heard it. I kind of had a silent reaction to it because I couldn't really understand why this was going to happen. My wife gets out of the bathroom. She's got all her makeup on. She's ready to go out. She's going to listen to your show. She says, "You know that Paul Porter? He's a classy guy. He's a real classy guy."
Well,
he said, "There's every reason to be angry, but he's not."
I appreciate that. And it's one of those things that is just beyond my control. I had asked that they would consider letting me go out on my own terms when I wanted to. I didn't really plan on doing the games more than another year. In fact, I even mentioned to Matt a few weeks ago that probably a year or two at the outside that I would do it. And I felt that it would be a much better situation for the Magic if they could let me announce that I'm retiring. And I think the fans would understand that. They'd be disappointed, but they would understand that. But then to come out and do it the way they did upset me a little bit. But then I calmed down, and I've been reading the comments, and literally hundreds of comments have come through on Twitter and on Facebook, and people talking to me. I've gotten phone calls. So I understand that. And I will tell you that I talked last night with Jason Beatty, who is the beat writer for the Orlando Sentinel. And when he saw the Facebook post that it wasn't my decision, he contacted the Magic and says, "So what's going on? Is this why is this being done?" And they just referred him to the press release, which said that the trips up and down I-4, it was time to pass the baton. And that wasn't what I said at all. So again, it's something I can't do anything about. And I wish the team all the best. I'll still be a Magic fan, still be rooting for them. But I'll be rooting from afar. And I guess good news for people like Marshall that go to the games on a regular basis. There won't be any more conflicts with the Magic and the Lightning. I should be, barring illness or a family situation or a travel situation or whatever, I should be at just about every Lightning game every year. So
really happy about that.
Always a silver lining. Yeah.
You know what? I thought of, you've done basketball for a long time. I mean, a long time since you were in Cleveland. But what I remember you first is with the Tampa Bay Thrillers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And those championship years. Those, you could talk about the Orlando Magic years. They were exciting. But the Tampa Bay Thriller years were really exciting.
Yeah, and for those of you that say, what in the world is Don talking about? They were a minor league basketball team that Bill Musselman, who is the reason I ended up coming to Florida, Bill Musselman was coaching that team. And as it turned out, he invited me to come down and be part of the Sarasota Stingers initially for 1 year. And then he moved up to Tampa Bay and was with the Tampa Bay Thrillers. And we had a good run. We won some championships. A lot of people that I knew back then. Steve Hayes is still a very good friend that I keep in touch with. And a lot of the referees that were in the minor league.
I officiated some of those games, Paul.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right. Did you ever have a Tampa Bay Thriller game?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I had a couple of them. Then I had a team in Lakeland. I had a team in Jacksonville. There was a team in Fort Myers. With that league moved around. And I was still USBL and a couple other leagues that I worked in. Yeah.
Little did you know that you'd be sitting here on the radio show talking about it so many years later. So. That was a good run. And, it was a funny story with that is that Bill Musselman was just, he's the only guy that I knew that could run as fast backwards as he runs forwards. He had that skill, and he could run down the beach backwards, and people would just turn their head like, what in the world are we seeing here? But he would do that. But the thing that I love most about Bill Musselman is that in the CBA, there was no such thing as a salary cap or draft picks going to certain teams and all that. Everybody was pretty much on their own. So Bill Musselman I would be driving the van because we went by van those days, and me and the trainer would trade off as far as driving goes. But Bill Musselman would say, pull over at this Sunoco station here. I got to make a phone call. And so we'd pull over, and he'd get in there and he goes, okay, I got a center. It's going to meet us in Albany, and he would have a player lined up to meet us there. And he would just add players from the highway. Mm-hmm. Unlike the intricate things that go on today with college sports, Bill would just, there weren't any things as cell phones back then. And he'd say, hey, there's a payphone at that Sunoco station. Pull in, I got to make a call. And we would do that. So it was a great experience. And believe it or not, the only time I ever saw it was at a game in Albany, and we played at the Albany Armory. And you probably did some games there, Marshall. They actually had scalpers outside selling tickets that you would think minor league basketball wouldn't have that much popularity, but it was such a big deal in Albany. And Phil Jackson was the coach of the Albany Patroons, and they had such a rivalry between he and Bill Musselman. And when the Tampa Bay came to play Albany, it was a hot ticket.
Yeah, there were some interesting things happening when I was involved. I mean, Lakeland had when they had the team, they had Roy Jones Jr., the boxer. Remember he did the two sports where he played a game and then he fought a fight. Then Randy Moss came down and played. He was playing for the Minnesota team up there, and he came down and played in Fort Myers. I mean, so there was some interesting things. Daryl Dawkins coached down there, and there was all kinds of stuff going on.
Oh yeah, it was a fun time, and I got to know Phil Jackson through the CBA, and we had some good chats, good times together. But bring back a lot of memories, Don.
Yeah, I do. That's what I thought of when you made the announcement, is that basketball legacy is just incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, really incredible. My wife doesn't know it as much as I know it, but I can tell you as a basketball fan, I'm going to miss this voice in that arena forever.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's very kind of you to say that. And as I mentioned earlier, I give God all the glory. He's the one that gave me the voice and allowed me to be there for 36 years. And I will miss it. I'm not going to lie about that. I will miss it. I will still follow the team, and I'll still watch NBA basketball, and I'll still root for the Magic and hope that they do well. And I encourage Magic fans to not let my situation stop them from being a Magic fan. They keep rooting for the team. The players had nothing to do with this. The coaches had nothing to do with this. So keep rooting for those players and those coaches, and root for the franchise.
Don, I really appreciate bringing that up, because I think Paul really needed to say that to our audience, and we all needed to hear it. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
No problem. And in a real world, you would have a comp ticket for everybody for that game on Wednesday.
Absolutely. Don, thank you so much for the kind words. We really appreciate it. Thanks for being part of the home team.
You're very welcome, Paul.
God
bless you.
Okay, thank you. We need to hit a break. More of the home team coming up here on the TAN Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook Live.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
If you suffered damage from either or both Hurricanes Helene or Milton and are in need of some new windows or a new door, FAS Windows and Doors is the place to turn. Locally owned and operated, they can get you the best possible products at the best possible price. Now, right now, they're offering a $100 rebate on all windows and a $200 rebate on all doors. Financing is available with no payments and no interest and no money down for 24 months. Just go to their website, faswd.com. That's faswd.com to schedule an appointment and check out their inventory. It pays to shop local and to go to a company that stands behind both their products and their service. Tell them you heard about them on the home team with Paul Porter, and they'll take special care of you. They're there when you need them. FAS Windows and Doors, faswd.com.
Hop on board the Lost Pearl pirate ship for a 90-minute interactive cruise that includes swashbuckling activities, water cannon fun, and a bar that's free while at sea. You will train to be a pirate, so we're prepared for any unwarranted encounter as we cruise through Florida's most pirate-infested waters, home to the legendary Jose Gaspar. Keep a sharp eye out for friendly dolphins as they like to swim along with us on our travels. For more information and reservations, visit TampaPirateship.com.
One of the questions I'm often asked is, how do you do it? With my busy schedule of working for the Lightning, Magic, Buccaneers, and the home team, I need to be in very good health. One person I have to thank for keeping me in good health for years is Dr. Troy Stirk of Stirk Family Medicine. He's helped me keep my blood pressure in check, my heart running smoothly, and an overall healthy feeling that is confirmed by my lab results. If you're looking for a good family physician, I heartily recommend Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine. You can reach his office at 813-264-7922. That's 813-264-7922. I'll tell you, Dr. Stirk is fantastic, and I'm sure you'll feel the same way if you become one of his patients. So now that you know my secret to staying healthy with a busy schedule, it's your turn. Call Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine, 813-264-7922. My favorite restaurant in all of Tampa Bay is J. Alexander's at the corner of Dale, Mabry, and Cypress, just south of I-275 in Tampa. The prime rib is to die for. Steaks are just as mouthwatering, and that's not all. Seafood like salmon, ahi tuna, shrimp, or crab cakes. Don't forget the salads and appetizers like my favorite French onion soup, and top it all off with a homemade dessert. J. Alexander's in Tampa at Dale, Mabry, and Cypress, just south of 275. Open 7 days, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Reservations suggested but not necessary.
For the first time ever, the home team is endorsing a place for all of you fishermen. And the winner is Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just a half mile south of Ulmerton Road in Largo. Betts, that's B-E-T-T-S, is open 7 days a week from 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday and 9 to 4 on Sunday. Everything you need from clothing to AFCO and skinny water culture to Shimano and Daiwa reels. They also do repair of your equipment. Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just a half mile south of Ulmerton in Largo, and online at customfishing.com.
10 years ago, my wife and I started a nonprofit ministry to help victims of domestic violence called Reach Out, Speak Out. Would you consider a donation to help our ministry? If you'd like to join our auxiliary board or just be a friend to Reach Out, Speak Out by helping with your time, talents, or treasures whenever you're available, please contact us by visiting reachoutspeakout.org. Please send your donation to Post Office Box 4979, Tampa, Florida 33677, 5013C number 47163. 0804. Happy 60th birthday, Cambridge Christian School. Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Porter, voice of the Lightning, here to tell you about the exciting growth happening here at CCS. Coming this fall is our state-of-the-art 45,000 square foot high school and STEM lab. For over 60 years, Cambridge Christian's award-winning academics, athletics, and the arts has been changing the way you think about Christian education. Visit us today at ccslancers.com.
The Florida State Fairgrounds is home to so much more than just the fair that runs every February. Concerts, trade shows, conferences, and competitions are all just a few of the things you'll find at the Florida State Fairgrounds and Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater all year long. For the very latest information and schedules, visit floridastatefair.com. The Florida State Fair and so much more, all happening at the Florida State Fairgrounds and Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater. We'll see you at the Florida State Fairgrounds.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to the home team, our final segment. And Marshall, you were mentioning that your son goes and listens to the podcast of the home team. That is available if you missed the show and you want to hear a previous episode. Matt has that up on the podcast pretty quick after the show ends. So by all means, check that out. Our final caller of the day is Anthony. Hello, Anthony. You're on the home team.
Yeah, you know, when you made the announcement, I kind of, in regards to the Lightning and the inception of the Lightning early 92, from Larry Hirsch voices to up to Rick Peckham and all in between, I'm thinking about Matt Salmon, I'm thinking about Chief, I'm talking about Phil Esposito, all these voices, and then your voice. Anything like that changes, and for me as a personal hockey fan, a Lightning fan, it would take away a drastic part of the arena experience. So I'm thankful that you're still with us here. And
I feel like I died.
I'm speaking for the heart as a hockey fan, you know.
Okay.
I say the tradition, you know, and I think that it would be a miss not hearing your voice booming every time the guys score. And but you know, on a cheerful note, man, I'm optimistic about the Lightning going in. toward the playoffs. So, I just want the Lightning fans to wake up. The last two games, I'm sorry to say, it was all female sports night and then the kids night. Aside from the lady who was doing the announcement who replaced you that night, it seemed to be like a lack of energy. Just my hearing opinion. We got a guy in our section that comes out waving that flag. That's a big flag, and he's got to wave that flag. So, and yet it's silent. That guy's out there to spur up the fans, guys and girls. If you guys can't get excited about that, then you stay home. I mean, we need energy, and we can blame the music or whatever, but it's up to the fans to spark up the energy.
Yeah, put your phone down and get into the game. Marshall, you mentioned earlier that when there's a break in the action, everybody's on their phone. Start cheering, get loud. And I think we'll see that uptick, Anthony, when the playoffs start. And I dread to think how many Toronto Maple Leaf fans will be here if we're playing the Maple Leafs in the first round. So we need the Lightning fans to drown them out. That's for sure.
Great show, guys.
Thank you so much.
Take care, Anthony.
Well, Marshall and Donald, thank you so much for coming in today. It was a lot of fun, and it's neat to have two listeners as co-hosts here on the program. We really appreciate that.
It's been a blast as always, and please take us out the best way you can to make your final announcement because your last Magic game's coming up. We really appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you so much, and thank you
Paul.
for all the kind words from all of you. We will talk to you again next Saturday at 9:00 here on the Home Team on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.